Hi everyone, this is Anna Wheaton from Nudge Nudge Ink Inc. I'm creating a video today to show you another way to use gilded leafing, which we have used recently in a class. And we made this project, which has this beautiful little accent piece of diagonal gilded leafing strips and then a die cut piece on top. So I'm going to show you how to create that and give you a few hints and tips on the way. So this is my little piece of cardboard for the accent. It is, I didn't think to measure it, 7 by 3. So it's just a tiny piece. Of course, you could go with much bigger pieces for another project, but we just wanted this little bit that went out the side. So what I suggest you do is get a piece of scrapped DSP and then place this here on a diagonal. That way you can use your grid lines to line up your stripes of double-sided tape because none of us have an eye that straight to get parallel stripes. So here I have some different widths of double-sided tape, so you could do different widths on this. I'm just going to use the one, but it is handy to have a few different widths for using with your gilded tape. Stampin' Up just sells one width in our tear and tape, which is 6 mil, and that's the width I'm going to use now. So what I'm going to do is add this to my grid paper, and you'll see I've just got a scrap because this is going to get ruined, so I don't want to put it down on a brand new piece of huge scrap of huge grid paper. So that one's lined up with those grid lines. And then my next one, I just want to leave a gap and do the same. So the top of my tape, top edge of my tape is lining up with a grid line. You can do it with the bottom edge of your tape, doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. And you also want to be consistent with your spacing. So I'm just going to, again, leave the same space like so, and just keep going. Great thing about tear and tape is that you can just tear it as you go. Don't need to be grabbing the scissors. So you can see I'm getting a nice diagonal parallel stripe there. Now, what I had the ladies do in class was to rip that off there and then trim the tape. But what one of the ladies did, and I love it when this happens in a class, is they just trimmed it off the paper like this. Like so. Handy to have longer blade scissors for something like that. And then pull away that piece of paper on the back. There you have your candy striped piece of cardstock. Then I'm going to bring in my gilded leafing. I keep saying gold foil, gilded leafing. So it comes in a bottle like this, and that bottle expands. You want to transfer it into a larger container. And so you get heaps more than this, but this has been used a fair bit. It comes in big flakes. It'll end up eventually being little crumbs like that, but it's still perfectly good. You don't need big flakes. All right, going to peel these off. I'll peel off 4 to leave me a bit of space at one end. Pop this in here. And then I've got a sponge with a peg for a handle. Just makes it easier. You don't really want to get your fingernails in the gilded leafing. Cover that with your gilded leafing and use your sponge to both push it on and rub it off. I've got something black in there. What is that? A black imposter that wants to be a piece of gold foil. Use your sponge around the edge too, and that will tidy that up nicely. Now I can peel these off. And because you've cut around the edge, you've got just a nice little pointy section to get your fingernail or take your pick tool under. Push those on as well. And I have my candy stripe in gold foil. Now see there, you've got a piece hanging over the edge. That should come away with brushing, and it does. Now put your lid on. Don't put it over to the side with no lid on. You'll forget, and then the breeze will come, or you'll knock it off your bench, or you'll slap something down on it. It's very light. All right, now I have my card base, and I'll grab my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to put this here, like so. Now, on top of that, I'm going to add a panel. So this is a panel that is narrower. It's actually 9 centimeters wide. So a card front is 10.5. This is 9, so that just gives me a bit of a room to play on either side. So that's why I've chosen to put my accent there. And this is 14.3, so half a centimeter shorter than a card front. Then I have this beautiful flower arrangement already cut. This is cut using the artistic dies. So it's this big image here, page 162 of your catalogue. And I have cut it out using our adhesive sheets. So our adhesive sheets come in a pack, and each sheet has 3 strips. So you can see there's a join there in the middle, just there. So the beauty about them is you think you may have to poke all of these pieces out, but you don't. Because once you start peeling this, you'll find a lot of them will just come away with it. Like so. This one's just being recalcitrant because I'm filming. It's mostly they've just come off in one big piece. We'll get there. Now this design, I must say I cased. I saved this design with this little accent piece out the side on Instagram months ago, but the demonstrator who made it used a diagonally striped piece of DSP, which was just gorgeous. And then I thought, when I was thinking of projects to use your gilded foil, I thought, hey, that'd work really well. Okay, so I have peeled that off. Now I'm going to stick it on, and I actually am going to go, I'll do what a customer did. One of my class attendees. Oh, actually, I can't. I'll explain what she did in just a moment. All right, that's stuck down. Now, you may notice that there are a few little spots there where it is still stuck. Just going to clear my... You've got little pieces like that and that you may have missed, or in my case, I knew I could get them later. You can just get the pointy part of take your pick tool, or pointy thingy as we call it, and just sort of pick those out. There's one that's come away but stuck underneath. Okay. Now, what I was going to do, but I didn't allow enough room, is we're going to cut this off, but I ended up with too small a piece. One of my customers had a larger piece overhanging there, and then she stuck it on the edge down here, which was rather beautiful. But I've just got a tiny leaf. Yeah, not quite the same. I think I might peel that off. But you get the idea. It's nice when people don't waste anything. Okay, I'm off camera trying to get sticky stuff off my fingers. Now we're going to attach that now to the card, and I want it to have a little bit of lift. So I'm going to bring in my, the smallest dimensionals. Why don't I have large ones? That's okay. Now, because this is a big sheet, you want to make sure you have your dimensionals spread, not just one in each corner. You need more than 4, okay, because we've got some big areas, plus I've got tiny dimensionals. Peel off those backings. If you don't know this hint of covering your dimensional sheet with a bit of highlighter, it works really well because you can easily see what you've peeled off and what you haven't, and stick that in place. This is sweet sorbet, so you can see that becomes part of my card, and then the gold foil is out the side with a beautiful accent. Now I want to add my sentiment. See how I go getting this straight, because when you're filming you can't line, oh my goodness, you can't line up. That's incredible. Straight, because you can't get your head right over it, which is what I usually do, but I've done a magnificent job. I'm just going to trim that and then flip it over and add some dimensionals to the back of it. You can see I've still got strawberry sorbet on my fingernail. All right, then you can see with these how I've got this gold, a little bit of gold trim just going back and forth there. So I'll show you how I do that. We add our dimensionals, and then we get our piece of gold trim. This is actually some retired trim. We do have a gold and silver pack of trim, but I've only got silver. I've got so much silver left, I don't really want to buy more gold. And you can just weave it across. Probably I should have started one end and went to the other. And loop it and stick it to the dimensionals. Now I'm going to add in another couple of dimensionals because that little bit of gold thread will sort of push this and interrupt the stickiness. So for it to stick properly, I need to add some more, like so. Pick that up and pop it where, oh, now there's a little ink mark there. So I'm actually going to cover that. Cover it up, or cut it off, we say, about mistakes. And last but not least, I've got, these are Neutrals Adhesive Backed Sequins. Because I've got gold accent, I'm going to choose these gold ones. And I'm just going to put them, usually an odd number is good, and I always use, if you know me, you know I like the little ones. Like so. Okay, so there you have a card with its gilded leafing accent using double-sided tape. So no heat required, no special tools. It's just your double-sided tape and 3 different colors. And there I've chosen to make a really quite a narrow accent. That's how it works. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and subscribe to my channel as I'll be adding more videos with more little techniques, fun folds, etc. to inspire you. Thanks everyone. Bye.